despite all of the reaction to Matt Gaetz and Tulsi Gabbard, there's still a lot of reaction also, not all positive, to President-elect Trump's controversial choice to lead the Pentagon. Fox News host and Army veteran Pete Hegseth. Joining us now is former NATO Supreme Allied Commander Admiral James Stavridis. He is the author of the new novel, The Restless Wave. So, Admiral, Hegseth is a combat veteran, Iraq and Afghanistan decorated, but he's never managed anything. Certainly not on the scale of an $800 billion Department of Defense and 1,000,003 member active duty troops. We certainly have enough going on in the South China Seas, in Ukraine with a hot war, in the Middle East. What do you make of him being tapped to manage and lead the world's largest and most powerful military?
Yeah, I think you hit the good news, which is he's a veteran. He fought in these forever wars. Secondly, he's an excellent communicator, and that is a significant part of the role of Secretary of Defense. But Andrea, you also hit the great lacuna in his record is he's never managed anything big, anything remotely like the Department of Defense. As you say, $800, $900 billion a year budget, 3 million troops when you put in active and reserve. It's the largest organization in the world. It's on combat duty around the world. That's a big task. Just to finish, I think back on the Secretaries of Defense I worked directly for. I worked for 5 as a 4-star. I'll highlight 2, one Republican, one Democrat. One was Bob Gates, who was a career CIA officer and ran the entire CIA, then was a university president, big organizations. A Democrat, Leon Panetta, also CIA, chief of staff in the White House, elected to the Congress. That's frankly the kind of resume you're looking for somebody to step into the Department of Defense.
And Hegseth and Donald Trump shared deep suspicions of the military, criticism of the military. A number of the generals from all parties, and well, they're not partisan, but appointees of Republicans and Democrats, pushed back against him on decisions he wanted to make. He's also against women in combat. Just listen to what he said not so long ago.
You got to fire the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and you got to fire this. I mean, obviously, you're going to bring in a new Secretary of Defense, but any general that was involved, general, admiral, whatever, that was involved in any of the DEI woke, it's got to go.
We have a great military, and we have a military that's not woke. You may have a few people on the top that are woke, and we're going to get rid of them so damn fast.
So, one of the things that they call woke is women. Donald Trump hasn't, but certainly Pete Hegseth has. Women in combat. I referenced earlier, I was thinking of, Tammy Duckworth, the senator from Illinois, who suffered so grievously after serving in Iraq. The women pilots. Women have contributed a lot to this military.
Enormously. And just 2 weeks ago in the Navy, we lost 2 young naval aviators flying one of our most advanced jets, F/A-18 Growler, we call it. They were lost in those kind of high-intensity operations. I have served as captain of a ship that had about 20% of my crew were women. It was an exceptional combat ship, Andrea, and it also won the Battenberg Cup as the top ship in the Atlantic Fleet. Couldn't have done it without the women who are part of our crew. The other part of the commentary there from Pete Hegseth that kind of rocks me back is this cavalier, hey, we're going to fire the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. That would be a terrible way to start a term as Secretary of Defense. And by the way, that chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General C.Q. Brown, was promoted to 4 stars and became the chief of the Air Force by President Donald Trump, who called him a great man and a great leader in the Oval Office. I think President Trump had it right that day. He's not someone you want to preemptorily fire.
And finally, Tulsi Gabbard in charge of all U.S. intelligence. What are the risks there?
I think enormous. And I thought John Bolton shredded her prerequisites pretty clearly in addition to the fact that she has zero experience around the intelligence world. And going into that job, Director of National Intelligence, you sit on top of all of the various intelligence agencies. She has no credibility as a result of that. And secondly, these mysterious engagements with Syria and Russia. I'm waiting to see the results of that FBI investigation to see what the real scope of that was. Probably not a good choice for that position.
Admiral James Stavridis, thank you so much.